We're gonna talk about it. It's 2025 in gaming. Yeah, yeah. Get your boots on. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Same story.
Oh man.
Same. Same
Oh man.
exact type of plot. I mean, a
Man.
guy that was in a previous one is now back in another one. So the question here is because Call of Duty actually, because of the response that it received, decided to next year shelve their ongoing year back-to-back drops of Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So what do you think that the community needs to see from Call of Duty moving forward in order to make it so that it is a long-lasting title back to how it used to be?
Go away for 5 years.
Oh,
Facts. Just
Go
go
away for
away.
5 years.
I agree.
Just go
I
away.
agree.
Distance
agree.
makes the heart grow fonder.
okay, 5 years. That's
Yep. It's
that's
plenty.
plenty
Listen,
of time.
I mean, listen. We haven't seen the Gears in like 5 years. Over 5 years. Guess what I'm fiending for? guess what I'm fiending for right now? It's been 6 years since the last Halo. Guess what I'm fiending for right now? You know,
That's fair.
I don't know. And to be specific, yeah, I think time and I don't know. I don't think there's anything that they can really do to make Call of Duty innovative every year. Like, because then you're just like trying to find things to add to it, like gimmicky things to add to it that don't translate. But if you wait, and I'll say this about what I appreciate about like the Gears games is they give it enough time between games where you can see and feel a difference between that game and the last game, whether it's like the capabilities with the graphics, like the game mechanics, the game engine. Like you can adopt a whole new feel for Call of Duty if you wait long enough, because there's enough like technology innovations overall that happen within that span of a time. So every time you drop a new game, people are going to enjoy it. I'll say about Halo Infinite, again, if they didn't botch that launch, Halo Infinite would be one of the biggest games out, but people aren't really turning back or going back to it because they took 3 years to really finish the game, but I still play it and I'm like, I love it because now it finally feels like a complete game. But I bring up Halo Infinite because they built like a completely new engine for Halo, and it slaps. You know what I mean? It's good, but again, like because they botched the launch, like people just got bored with it because there wasn't enough content with it. But like the build itself is like really good. So, but it took forever and it took $500 million to make. But you know what I mean? So I think with Call of Duty, they just need to disappear, build something from the ground up, build something completely unique so that we are surprised and excited for something new and something fresh by the time that time gets here. Because right now it just feels like they're feeding us the same shit, maybe with a different season in here, a different season in there. So
Well, because they are. That's like exactly what they're doing. And I think that's why people are, a lot of people didn't even purchase the game. I for sure didn't. All this hype and all these trailers can't undo the fact that you haven't poured into your game appropriately. And I think the community is starting to understand that and they're starting to feel it. And unless you're a content creator streamer, there wasn't really an incentive for you to buy the new one when you could just play the ones that were already fine.
Or unless you got Game Pass.
True. The premium, right?
I wasn't even expecting another game to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they could have. But, I wonder if the inclination, of course, it has to do with greed for sure, right? But I wonder if the inclination to want to continue to drop every year so that people don't forget, because there's a lot of first-person shooters that are, for their fan base, really well respected. Some of them being Fortnite, Apex Legends, Counter-Strike 2, which just won like an award at the Game Awards. So where do you think the line is between a franchise that's been out so long, kind of losing their fan base by taking too long, and taking that time in to pour into the game. Gallup, that one's for you, I think. Or Breezy, yeah, take it.
I'm gonna say piggybacking off of what Gallup said. I don't think they should go away for 5 years. I think what they need to do, what they said they were going to do with the remake of Modern Warfare 2 was Modern Warfare 2 was going to be the game for 2 years. They said the year it came out and the year after we wasn't getting another Call of Duty. That's why they made it so difficult to unlock stuff in Modern Warfare 2 because it was supposed to last 2 years.
Right.
I think what they need to do, and then they came out with Modern Warfare 3, which was basically an expansion. If you really think about it, it really wasn't its own game. It was just an expansion that they turned into its own game to make more money. What I think they need to do is go that Modern Warfare 2 route where one game lasts 2 years, and if they really need to, they can make an expansion for that where they add more maps and they add like a pack of more maps and weapons and stuff like that, as opposed to dropping a new game every single year. I feel like they need to drop a game every other year or every 2 years.
Yeah.
I think if they do that, that would fix a lot of the issues that they have.
Yeah, I think I definitely would agree. I think like 2 to 3 is probably the max that people are gonna kind of like care, because we see with games that haven't even, fully dropped. Like I think it was Intergalactic Heretic Prophet. I'm gonna wait as long as I need to wait for it to be a good game, And I think they're underestimating the gaming community and their willingness to wait for good games because people have been buying, the crummy ones. So yeah, I think that's a great point to make.
On the other end of that, I feel like Call of Duty has become such a household name. Like grandparents know what Call of Duty is, but they probably couldn't know what other half of those is. Because I feel like if they were to take a few years off, I think it would be okay in the end. Because I think Gallup had made the point a little bit earlier. If they come out year after year, the differences don't seem that different. As far as technology, game mechanics, like whatever storyline, I don't know. But if they were to wait a little longer, I think they'd be okay because they've implemented themselves as like a household name.
Yeah, it could be like Call of Duty is finally dropping again. Oh my gosh, let's see what they do instead of.
Look at GTA.
But then again, it all depends on what you do with it, though. We don't want all that advanced technology, jumping on walls and all of that stuff.
No. That's not what we mean. That's not what we mean.
But what I'm saying with these new Call of Duties, it's like, yo,
right? Because I wanted that.
I like jumping off the walls. I thought that was interesting.
Like I was a fan of Black Ops 3.
You know what I'm
As
saying?
an Apexer, wall jumping, low key fire.
Yeah.
so
but leave that with Apex though. Leave that with Apex.
But I first experienced it with Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
it's
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
We be losing the plot. They be adding stuff that we really don't need. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need that. I don't think anybody in the COD community really asks for that. Let's be real.
I doubt it.
No. Year after year? No.
Yeah. I think it's interesting as like a touch, it's like even like for Apex, right? Like wall jumping was an event-wide thing and it kind of like went away. I think it's always good when experimenting happens and then you kind of see what the reception is when it comes to the community, but kind of making that your main, thing for an entire game. Risky.
Crazy.
It's for sure risky.
You gotta make that a little party mode or something. Maybe you can do that. I don't know. But like having jetpacks and all that other goofy nonsense, it's like it's not. I get what y'all trying to do. Y'all wanna change it. Y'all wanna be innovative and all that stuff. Oh, they might like future warfare. Yeah. But it's like the real people don't want that. We want to play the games that were from Modern Warfare 2 to maybe Black Ops 3.
But yeah, I feel like
those was peak. Those were peak.
Well, the other thing, and I was thinking about the idea of like if Call of Duty comes out, like goes away, they come out with like a base game, right? And then they kind of give it the I mean, they kind of do that. They kind of do this with Warzone, but like they keep adding features to it, and I think what they're trying to do is become more like Fortnite. Like no game has gotten as much success as Fortnite when it comes to that. When it comes to just adding more features, and people are still playing it, right? But I think the thing with Call of Duty, where it may not work for Call of Duty, is a lot of people associate Call of Duty with a good story. You know what I mean? Like the campaigns have been were really good. You know what I mean? And I think like that's a big part of why I was always willing to shell out money for Call of Duty, because I did like it had a good campaign and a good multiplayer. It was both. And I think with Call of Duty, they kind of, like with, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Warzone. I have mixed feelings about like how that impacted what the devs at Activision ended up focusing on. It seems like they shifted a lot of their energy towards Warzone and like the expansions and all that stuff, to the point where like the actual games that they release, like the campaign and the multiplayer, they feel lackluster. And I think it's just like they move their resources to what makes the most money for them consistently, which is Warzone. But because of that, now the actual release of the game feels like trash. Like they're just recycling it. And I don't know, like sometimes like it feels like they don't have to do everything at like a high level. They can really just kind of focus on what their bread and butter is, but I don't think they remember what that is anymore. I think they forgot what that was when they dropped Warzone. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, we're just going to do everything." It's like, "Nah, man, like focus on the thing that got us there."
Yeah, that's a great point, cuz I forgot. Like when you said it, like that they used to be so story rich, I'm like, why do I always have this like feeling like for Call of Duty, like I know it stinks now, like why do I care? And it's because the stories prior to a certain point were what were making you purchase. It was a story mode that came with multiplayer.
Yep,
And to your point, they kind of like went in, focused on multiplayer and lost the storyline edge. So now they're no longer competing with all the other genres. So now it's like a mid multiplayer and a low key sucky story. Like you can't really build out that way. I think that's a great point.
But we have Warzone.
It's like, I mean, see, I think what
and it's free.
That's another thing too. Yeah, it is free. I think the lab rat was having that blackout mode on Black Ops 4, because that was a battle royale mode. On just to see what it really do out for how it's going to go now. And I think what really did it too, COVID did it.
Hell yeah, COVID did that.
When
shit.
COVID hit,
everybody
and their mama was on Warzone. And that at that time when that first dropped, it was peak. Not gonna lie, I didn't play it, but everybody enjoyed it. It was a great game. Like, and they saw the reaction and how it did, and they like you said, they gonna focus on that Warzone. They forgot the whole plot as far as the regular games.
They forgot what got us on Warzone in the first place.
Exactly. so now they trying to, with Black Ops, where are we at? 7 now? Damn.
Black Ops 7. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
they try to
like, oh, you know what? They're like, you know what? I got an idea. Let's bring the campaign. Let's make it multiplayer campaign. We want people to play online, and there's times I don't want to play with people. I want to play by myself. I want to play the story by myself. Why do I gotta? No, I gotta play this with like a multiplayer. I don't want to do that. Now y'all forcing me to go. No, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. And Doc made a great point. It was annoying because the multiplayer just tanked in quality. And I think, a lot of the games that are really doing well right now in the multiplayer space are strong in their multiplayer. You can tell that they really thought that out from top to bottom. And again, Gallup, you already said it. I mean, COD is really just kind of following in Fortnite's footsteps, which is always going to sound weird to me because to me, COD was here, Fortnite was trying to get there, and to go and follow in the footsteps of your competitor that's looking up to you, it's just, or maybe they weren't looking up to them. Maybe they just were like, we're gonna do our own thing.
They was doing their own thing,
and maybe that's why they're winning because they kept their eyes on their lane and COD for some reason started looking at other lanes.
Yeah, because Call of Duty hitting the pop culture era, it was the worst thing that could ever happen. Why? First off,
why is there a Nicki Minaj running around?
I was gonna say that.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
My first.
Why is there Nicki Minaj in a 21
pink
Savage
latex
running around?
Snoop Dogg smoking some shit before he smoke you, dog.
Like, you bright as shit. This game is dark. You bright as shit. You're getting popped.
Yeah,
you're getting
exactly.
Like, come on, you're not blending in. No. Beavis and Butthead. Why is Beavis and Butthead in Call of Duty?
Yeah,
that was the breaking point. Honestly, that's what made everybody like, all right, hold on.
And they did the same little colorful thing that Fortnite does. Like they have like that character looks cartoonish, and then the game, still has its same aesthetic, and it is stupid.
It does not the cornholio in Call of Duty.
Cornholio in Call of Duty.
Look, Ninja Turtles in there too. I'm like,
I can't talk because I have a Michael Myers skin, so but everything else is too much.
but again, they're trying to replicate what Fortnite is doing.
Because Fortnite had Ninja Turtles, right?
They also
Fortnite had everything,
and they got Beavis and Butthead.
It's like Call of Duty. Call of Duty's brand. It's Call of Duty's whole brand is gotten shaken up because again, it was like it was more of like a story driven, serious like shooter, and then you throw in motherfucking Beavis and Butthead, bro,
and Attack on Titan.
Yeah, and now you can tell they're just trying to stay relevant, and they're just missing.
It's the bye, Rika. You just dipped and came back.
Get over here. Bye, Rika.
It's crazy. And you came back.
Nah, you dipped and came back. That's why I was like, bye. But
that's weird.
No, but in real shit, like.
Bye.
That sounded mad disrespectful. Nah, but. No, but and also like the acquisition of Activision too played a huge role in it as well. Because remember, Microsoft bought that shit, and because of that, it's like, all right, run the money up. How are we doing this? And I think we all knew that like they were gonna put all of their energy into Warzone and trying to replicate what Epic Games did with Fortnite. And listen, they might be making a bunch of money on Warzone. They might be or enough money to kind of maintain the studio, maintain Activision. But at the end of the day, like we don't want it. We don't want it anymore. And people are gonna stop, and they're seeing it now. Like the numbers are dropping. People aren't really fucking with Call of Duty anymore. The brand of Call of Duty is kind of taking a shit at this point.
Absolutely,
and didn't like.
Did
not want.
Yeah, and I think Doc makes a great point. He said they're catering to the current gen players, ones who are accepting microtransactions and hype trains as the norm.
Yep, that's valid.
I can see that happening. Yep.
But they're competing with Fortnite, and they're never gonna win.
That's not a. I don't think
they gotta carve out. They gotta carve out their own lane. They can't compete with Fortnite.
Because remember, when COD was on top, everyone was trying to be the COD killer. Everyone that came out with a game was trying to outdo Call of Duty at the time, and now everybody's trying to outdo Fortnite. And no one can outdo Fortnite because Fortnite is its own thing. It's its own special brand. There's no competing with that.
But even now, like, and it trickles down to everybody because now it's so weird because now Battlefield is trying to copy what Call of Duty's doing, and it's like and as a Battlefield fan, I'm frustrated by that because I'm like, Battlefield, you're your own thing. The game is already good. The game, like the format of Battlefield, is already good. It has its own thing. They've mastered their own thing with Conquest and Breakthrough and Rush and all these different game modes that are exclusive to, not exclusive to Battlefield, but like why Battlefield players love going to Battlefield. And then they dropped RedSec, and they're just, and again, now everybody's trying to hop on this battle royale train.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, listen, it leaves room for somebody to come in and just make a really, really, really good shooter.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna do it, because again, right now everybody's grabbing for money. But listen, maybe an indie dev might come in and make a really, really good shooter that capitalizes on the fact that all of these other like, again, Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Fortnite, they're all competing for a piece of the pie for Battle Royale. Meanwhile, nobody's making a really, really solid multiplayer